Good evening, guys. I'm Anu. I'm the technical specialist for civil with Skilling. So I'm here to brief you about the different domains that you can get into once you have completed your civil engineering graduation, or if you have done your masters, then which kind of software knowledge or courses might help you to get into a correct job. So I can help out with the softwares that you should be aware of and the different courses that we offer from Skilling, which will be briefed you in detail so that you get an idea and choose the course stream which you want to excel in. So you can choose your domain which you want to look in for job opportunities. So you can ask your queries in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer your queries. So Skilling is an edutech firm where we offer courses in all domains like civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and computer science. So we offer courses which are mostly into job oriented and which of your domain interest, because we identify the students interest and then we let them know which domain they can enter into the job roles. So and also we are helping the students to bridge the gap of, between the engineering college studies and the job domain. If you see in engineering colleges, it is like they just if you it takes civil engineering, you might have learned about the design of any footings or any beams or columns. But if you design as a whole building, if you take a building design, you have to refer many codes for dead load, live load, wind load, which they don't teach you through the codal norms. So they just give you the values, and in the examination they just ask you to do the design. So that is not how we do work on the consultancy firm. So that is where the students find it difficult when they enter into any kind of domain jobs. So to bridge the gap is why Skilling is coming up with some courses in master's program and also as individual courses. So I'll brief about the courses a little bit later. Before that, I will just explain you what are the domains that you can get in through after completing your engineering graduate. I will just share my screen. I think my screen is visible. Once you feel that you have any queries, please do message in the chat box so that Shruti can just read the questions and I can answer your queries. Okay. So why Skilling? As I said, Skilling is an e-learning platform which we focus on providing job-oriented courses for engineers, and we mainly focus on the fundamentals and make you understand how to apply it in the theoretical usage. So it is more into industrial relevant projects is what we make the students to work on. So they get that confidence and they are capable of doing the projects when they are getting a job in any firm. They get that confidence to do that project independently. It is not like how you see courses in the YouTube channel, just like taking the input value from the StatPro or any other softwares and just to apply it in the model. We teach you how to refer the codes, what are the codes that you have to refer, what are the tables that you have to refer, how to take the values, how to calculate the manual calculations as using Excel sheets, and how to come up with a how to calculate the manual calculations using Excel sheets and how to apply it in the modeling. And then you do the analysis and design. Then only you are completing a perfect building design. Okay, so it is like all our courses are in the same way. It is like it is not just modeling and analysis and design without knowing the fundamental concepts. If you take any course on more into earthquake engineering, if you want to know about seismic forces, then we take you through the complete earthquake engineering. What are the parameters that you have to consider, how the building will behave for earthquake forces. So all our courses are something related to how you work on job oriented, how you work on a company. Okay, so once you enroll the course, you will be having an opportunity to view the recorded videos, and after every week of video watch, there will be a challenges that you have to opt with. And once you have done with the challenges, we do have technical support engineers who will be uh, grading your challenges, and they will be supporting you in case of any queries or doubts. So, and the support engineer will be reachable at any point of time through call, or you can raise a ticket through our website, so that they will be addressing it within 24 hours. So that is the support is what we Skillink are known for. So the support will be like providing a proper support for a one-to-one support for each and every student, to make the concepts clearly for them to understand, and then we help you to do the project. 5 usual facts that every civil engineer has to know. So if you are a civil engineering graduate and you want to enter into any domain, there are many behaviors that are that 5 useful facts that you should be aware of. That is, you should have a good knowledge in the fundamentals. Any codes, if it is a construction, if you want to become a site engineer also, you should be aware of the relevant codes. That is how much height you have to provide bricks, what is the lintel height, everything is as per the Indian codes. Okay, that is how you will be start working as a site engineer. What is a concrete mix design, how to do the concrete mix design for various grades of concrete. So for a civil engineer to enter into any domain, you should be aware of the codal practices that is followed in the construction industry. If you want to be a estimation engineer, then you have to know the bar bending schedule, how it is provided, what is the length of the bar, where is the hook you have to provide. Everything is relevant to codes. So, and second one, the theoretical concepts. You have to be thorough with the theoretical concepts. Say if you are working, if you want to go as a site engineer, then you should be aware of what are the tests that are done for concrete at site. So those are all theoretical concepts that we have learned in our early, that is a second year or third year of engineering. So you should be thorough with these concepts. If you want to enter into the structural domain, then you should be good at structural analysis concepts. That is the theoretical concepts on BMD and SFT, how the structure will behave for the applied loads. All these concepts you should be thorough with to crack the interview. And third one is we provide on with working opportunity to industrial oriented projects. As I said, you will be asked to work on a full project by yourself, like how you work on a consultancy project. So it is like you get the full knowledge on working by yourself, not like how you work on a engineering final project, like you group up together with people and do work on the projects. So this is like you will be independently working from scratch. That is starting from the report, design basis report, till the final output report. You will be preparing properly, and we may help you to do it in a proper way, like how you submit your college reports. And we do attach your projects in your portfolio with in our Skillink website, and those projects will be visible in your portfolio, which is in Skillink website. So when you give your resume to the employer, it is like your projects will be visible to the employer on a click. So this is how we make all the students who have enrolled in our courses work on projects and upload it in our website through their portfolio, which is created with us. So, and now only less than 15% of civil engineers are employable because of the lack of theoretical concepts they are aware of, or else they plan to shift to other domains because they have a fear of entering into structural domain. If you see, when no civil engineer is confident enough to enter into the design role as soon as he or she completes a graduation, because they always have a fear that whether I can do a building design, whether it is possible for me to do a design, because you are not getting an opportunity to work on a full project while you are learning. So they just shift on their domain to different like IT sector or something other than the civil engineering domain. So pick your domain and specialize in it. If you want to work in structural domain, you please master yourselves in specific codes, in specific software, and also the fundamental concepts, then you can excel in that. If you want to be a master in estimation or planning, then do learn the concepts in planning, how to schedule it, and do the and also excel yourselves in the specified software, and please do enter into that domain. Please specialize in yourself and pick your domain first, then you specialize in it. So I'm here to explain you how the construction industry work, and what is a design in a construction, what is the role of a design engineer maybe in the construction industry, and how skilling courses are different from other courses, and what will be the role of the design engineer and a construction management person, and what are the courses that we offer, and the job roles on construction management. So these are the stages of a construction project. So first stage is the pre-design and concept stage. Second is the design phase. Then it is the tendering stage. Upon completing the tendering, then comes the detailed design, where we will be giving the good for construction. We will be preparing the proper design, and we will be developing the drawings, and that will be released to the site for as good for construction drawings. So if you take the pre-design and concept stage, here the concept plan is decided. If you take any industrial building or a plant, manufacturing plant, in the pre-design stage, all the civil, mechanical, electrical part will come together and work on a concept plan with the help of an architect. We do come up with the sizes and the concept, and the depending upon the manufacturing plan, what will be the concept, and what are the buildings, what will be the space between the buildings, what are the utilities required, and what are the essential parameters that needs to be considered, and the loads acting on a building. Everything will be pre-design. In the pre-design and concept stage, we will come up with this. And here nowadays we use Revit, which is a BIM tool. And when people start working on the concepts, they do work on a cloud server, and they do understand the idea. If there is any clashes between the HVAC duct or a column or beam in a project, we do rework on the concept plan, and then we go on with the design phase. Here we do the preliminary drawings required for the construction project, which we will float for tendering. Here the tendering stage is where the contractors, the estimation engineer, the pre-bid tendering document will get ready, and there are contractors who will bid for the project. And the tendering stage, we do decide the contractor depending upon the bids the contractors have submitted. And after the contract is awarded, then is the detailed design. There are different kinds of contract, that is EPC contract or a design. Some person will do the design, consultant will do the design, and the contractor will be doing only the construction. So it depends upon the allocation of the work. The detailed design will be carried out by the consultant or by the EPC contractor who has taken the awarded work, both design and the construction. So in that case, detailed design will be done, where we will be considering in the design phase, we will be preparing a design basis report that will be the Bible for the project, and he will be using that Bible during the detailed design stage, where all the loads will be clearly mentioned, and there will be no deviation on the loads. And that document, that is a design basis report, will be the whoever enters into the project will have a look at the design basis report, which will be clear which will make them clearly understand how the project and what are the loads that needs to be considered in the project. And once it is done, then we do will have a third party check. In some projects, the client will assign a third party check to verify this or validate this design, and then comes the good for construction drawings. Once the third party approves the drawings, then it gets released as a good for construction drawing. This is the stages of design and construction in a construction project. Okay, so what is design? So in a design project, the structural engineer will start working from the beginning. that is starting from the concept stage. He will get involved in with the architect. He have to coordinate with the architect, mechanical engineer and electrical engineer to identify if there is any hiccups in the project, or what are the loadings that he needs to consider for mechanical machineries or electrical cable trays, or if they require any special kind of foundations in the specified area, or any cable trays from above the ceilings. Those loads needs to be considered. So they have to work in close contact with all the domain engineers. So the work of the structural engineer will start from this concept stage itself, and they will be responsible for producing the detailed good for construction drawings, which will be used for constructing the building, whether it is industrial or commercial, any kind of building. And the design engineer has to coordinate with all disciplines, not only internally with the mechanical engineer or the electrical engineer. They have to closely work along with the estimation team. They have to work with the planning engineer. They have to work with the construction engineer, because his responsibility is to check whether the construction is going as per the drawing he has provided, whether it is as per the grade he has provided in the drawing. And the estimate, he has to closely monitor, work with the estimation engineer, because the value of the project should not go beyond the quoted value. And he has to work with the planning engineer to understand the sequence, that is how to release the good for construction drawing to the site, so that the site doesn't get stopped or get delayed because of the lack of good for construction drawings. It is also the responsibility of the design engineer to produce error-free drawings, whatever a single line you put in the drawing, because these drawings will be also referred by laymen who are working on the site. So it should be clear that any dot or line which we are giving in the drawings should be error free. That is, it should be covering all the data, including the grade, proportion, everything should be included, and the day to how much days it should be done with shuttering, everything should be provided in the drawings. That is, the we provide all the structural details required, and he has to ensure the safety in design. So it is like he should be responsible for the safety of the building also. The design responsibility is, his role is also like a doctor's role, where we play with human life. And so he has to be so confident while designing the building. So we are coming up with some courses related to design and construction management courses. Now Skilling is coming up with many masters in different varieties of structures, say buildings, bridges, precast kind of structures. We are coming up with high roadway design with open roads. We are coming up with geotechnical courses. So we are widely coming up with many branches of courses that will be helpful for civil engineer to upskill their knowledge. And we don't teach blindly the software, how to just model the building or bridge, and then just to do the analysis and do the analysis and design. We teach the concepts clearly, that is starting from the fundamentals. If you take a bridge course, we teach you what are the different various kinds of loads that you have to consider, design loads that you have to consider in designing a bridge. We do teach one, if you take bridges itself, we cover all kinds of bridges. Take steel structure bridges, precast bridges, reinforced cement, normal RCC bridges, pre-stressed bridges. So it is like we clearly teach you. If you take a master's course, it is like you will be an expert in designing any kind of bridges, including the substructure. It is not only the superstructure that we cover in our coursework. It is all about the substructure also we do cover in our coursework. And we also give a detailed feedback from the projects and challenges that you submit to us. And we do allow you to work independently, and we guide you. Once you are into our internship, into our master's course, we provide you with internship opportunities, where we help you to work on projects independently, and it's a paid internship. It depends upon for certain criterias. You will get internship with us when you are enrolling for masters. We make you confident in working independently on these projects. So these are some of the courses that we offer from Skillink for something related to CAD, BIM and design courses. So if you see, AutoCAD, that is an essential tool that every civil engineer should be aware of for both 2D and 3D drafting. And next is every courses we teach you from scratch. It is not that if you take AutoCAD, it is like you will be start learning how to create a rectangle using coordinate system, and once you finish the course, it is like you will be thorough with the concepts of producing section elevation, and I will showcase some of the projects that my students have done, and you will be thorough with 3D rendering also. And if you take design and drafting using Revit, here you complete, it's a BIM tool. As you know that we have a very good scope in BIM industry now, in because most of the consultants or most of the projects, they use Revit for detecting the clashes, like how I said in the concept stage itself. So Revit is coming up like a booming software in the current industry. So next is StatPro, and we do offer ETABS coursework and SAFE. So StatPro and ETABS are mandatory softwares that you should be aware of if you wanted to excel your career in design field. So StatPro, we do teach how to design an RCC building and one steel building, and also we do cover pipe racks. If you take ETABS, here you learn how to design a high-rise building for seismic forces. So here in this course, we cover in depth into earthquake engineering. So the fundamentals, starting from fundamentals of earthquake engineering, you do get an opportunity to learn, and also thereby you will be learning the foundation design using SAFE software. And here, this is again, you will be learning both RCC and steel kind of structure using Tekla Structural Designer. Here also you will be learning how to design a building for both gravity and lateral loads, and also here when you go on with a steel building design, it is into crane loads also. So next is the analysis and design of industrial buildings using StatPro. Here you will be learning how to design an industrial building. Take a truss type of building or a PEB kind of building, or say a pipe rack, whatever it is. So all kinds of buildings that are involved in industrial structures is covered in this coursework, and all these coursework are from substructure till superstructure design. We do offer a new course called Design of Tensile Structures using Dulubal software, which is an RFEM software. And this kind of structure is like used widely now for in stadiums. You might have seen a fabric kind of thin, low weight structural element with steel structures. So this is widely used nowadays in swimming pool roofs, table tennis courts, in marriage halls, to that gives a very good elevation to the building. So we do come up with the design of those kind of structures, and we here, as I said, we exclusively have come up with a coursework where we will be learning only about the design loads and how to calculate it and apply it in the StatPro for bridges. So if you take bridges, we do cover IS codes and IRC codes. Here we are coming up with another course, that is roadway design with open road software. So here we completely cover the concepts and the fundamental theories that is behind an roadway design. And we also do come up with fundamental courses, that is mastering in shear force and bending moment diagram. We do help you to correlate your values doing the same model. If you take an simply supported beam with a point load or a UDL or a portal frame, how we make you do the calculation manually. We teach you how to do according to slope deflection method, and we do help you to do the same model in ETABS and make you understand the concepts behind these bending moment and shear force diagram. So these are some of the courses that we are offering in CAD, BIM and design course. This is more into structural. I will explain you about construction management courses also. So these are some of the projects that our students, because they started AutoCAD, and these will be the projects that you will be able to do it. When you are completing the coursework, you will be in a position to develop proper drawings with proper grids and dimensions in the drawing with a proper scaling and template provided in the drawing. So these are some of the projects of the students who have completed the course with us. So it is like in this design domain, you can join, if you're a fresher, you can join as a junior design engineer or a steel design engineer. You also, if you're good at a Tekla, then you can join as a Tekla detailer or a BIM modeler. So these are the job roles that you can plan in for if you are looking in for a design engineer role. So these are some of the roles that you can come up for a design engineer as a fresher and with an experience of 2 to 3 years also. So I think before going on with in the construction management course, I think I will just explain. If you have any queries, I can just answer your queries and then I can shift on to the construction management portion. So to get a job as a BIM modeler, you should be thorough with the BIM tools. So if you take BIM tool, it is Revit. So you should be good at in Revit itself. There are different modules like 3D rendering, we have Dynamo, we have Naviswork. So as I said, Naviswork is widely used to identify or detect the clashes in the early stage, that is a concept stage of the project. So you have to gain knowledge in Revit, or if you want to go into a steel structure BIM modeling, then you should gain knowledge in Tekla structures. So how to start as a fresher in the industry? So Sugan, it is like first you have to pick your domain which you want to. If you want to go into an so if you can specify which domain you are interested in, then I can answer it in a much clearer way. Yeah. How is Tekla different from ETABS? In Tekla, we have different softwares. One is Tekla Structural Designer, which is an analysis and design software. And if you take Tekla Structural Designer is an analysis and design software, and Tekla Structures is a detailing software which is widely used in most of the companies who are more into steel structure design. Okay, so it is a BIM tool. Tekla Structures is a BIM tool. But if you take ETABS, it is again an design and analysis software which is widely used for concrete kind of structures, that is RCC type of structures and precast or those kind of structures, and or composite structures, and it is widely not used for steel structures. If you take StatPro, it is widely used for both RCC and steel structure design. So ETABS and StatPro are widely used by most of the consultants and EPC contracting firm for designing the buildings. Tekla, it's now coming up. Tekla Structural Designer is now used in many companies that is widely in abroad like Singapore, Malaysia, or UAE. Yes, Jeevan. I did my master's in transportation planning and engineering. Can you, any suggestions to people in my career? Yeah. Yes, Jeevan. So you are into transportation planning and engineer, right? You have done masters in transportation. So you can see the relevant softwares like Open Roads, MX Roads. Those softwares are something related to transportation. So if you want to enter into a design field, then you can start learning how to do a road design, that is how to do a payment design, because we do have infrastructure companies who require engineers with design knowledge. So since you are more into transportation, you can just excel in that way. Or if you want to enter into planning department in infrastructure private limited companies, then you can excel your career in Primeware or MS Project. What it requires to get a good job in construction industry. So Manzoor, can you please tell me from which domain you are from? I want to work on site. Okay. So Manzoor, if you want to work on site, in construction industry, we have different domains like estimation engineer, planning engineer, QA/QC engineer, safety engineer. So all these categories come in construction industry. So if you want to go enter into any of these domain, first you have to pick if you are interested in planning, or if you're good at estimation, or if you want to become a site engineer, then you should be aware of what are the requirements. That is, if you want to You should be ready to have knowledge on concrete mix, what is the grades used in concreting. These are all site activities. How you do the how to read the drawings, because once the drawings received to the sites, you are the one who are responsible for constructing it at site, right? So you should be good at reading the drawings, and you should be also aware of the detailing concepts for beams and columns. So if you want to be an site engineer also, you should brush up with the fundamentals and also the codal provisions that are required to do the construction at site. What are the companies that are actively hiring civil engineers now in the design field? Yeah. Now, in the design field, we have many companies opened up for internship opportunities, and we have rolled out those opportunities. That is the 2020 and 2021 passed out students. They are hiring for internship for a period of 6 months or 10 months. Upon completion of their internship, they are ready to take in for placements. And some companies named, if you name SACPIL, they are in the recruitment of BIM modelers, design engineers, site engineers, estimation, because they have got a very good a number of projects, and they are in the process of recruiting civil engineers in design domain, BIM modeling, everything, all the domains. Which software is better for interior design and building design? Yes, Shiva. So it is like for interior design, you can use 3ds Max or Maya. But being a civil engineer, most of the people go with an architect for interior design. You can also use Revit for interior design. You can provide walkthrough for the client if you are good at Revit, so that you can do the interior fit outs and take a walkthrough for the client. If you take building design, if it is an RCC building, then I prefer going on with ETABS. Or if you take an industrial or a warehouse shed, then it's better than you go on with StatPro. So that is my opinion on building design. So which software the structural engineer mostly use in field? In structural field is what I think you have mentioned. So being a structural engineer, you have to upskill on regular basis, because now we have virtual reality coming up. So it is like the basic softwares are StatPro and ETABS. Now Tekla Structural Designer is also widely used. If you see, I have explained about tensile structures, where we use Dulubal, which is a new software and which is an RFEM software. So it is like we should be in constant touch and upskill our knowledge in the relevant domain. If you are in structural field, then you should also be upskilling your knowledge in software domain. And how to become a good structural engineer? How to become? You should properly design a building as per the relevant Indian codes. And you should be confident enough to release a good for construction drawings. And you should be, the confidence that you provide that in your design is what it's if you do an over design also, the building will collapse immediately. If you increase the structural steel or the column sizes, if you make a huge column or a beam, that structure will also collapse immediately. So it is like you should be properly following the codes in which the combinations are referred. You have to follow the factor of safety. Then your design will be a perfect one for construction, and you can become a good structural engineer. What should I learn or do course to become a BIM engineer? As I'm a civil engineer, and what is the chance in growth of my career as BIM engineer? Yeah. So you want to work as a BIM engineer, right? So yeah, so you have to get good knowledge on Revit. And if you see drafting and design course in our skilling which we offer, we cover 4 modules. That is 3D rendering. Second one is Dynamo. We all do cover robo-structural analysis in that. We do cover Navis work, and we do cover estimation and scheduling. And you will be doing 4 projects in each of this module. So it is like you are covering the full concepts of Revit. So once you are thorough with these concepts, and for becoming a BIM engineer, first you will be entering as a BIM modeler, where you will be working on 3D rendering, and you will be using Navisworks to detect the clashes while working on a cloud platform. So once you have 3 to 4 years of experience, you will be promoted as a BIM engineer or a BIM project manager, where you will be coordinating with all kinds of, like you will be in charge of planning or scheduling and costing also, and you will be taking the material takeoff, because now most of them are relying on BIM for estimation also. So from the 3D rendering itself, it is easy for you to come up with the scheduling and costing, that is a quantity and cost of the project. So then once you are getting promoted to the BIM project manager, then you have more chances of working as an head for BIM. So this is how your career growth will be if you are opting BIM as your career option. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any courses for construction management and planning with estimations? Yeah. Yes, Chandra Shilpa. Yeah, we are coming up with courses in MS Project and also in Primavera, which are all more into construction management. Shiva Prakash, I completed my diploma in civil. I need my certification course for geotechnical investigation subject. So did you attend any webinars with us and you are asking the certification for that, Shiva Prakash? So Ashwati has asked for job opportunities for civil engineers in Indian Railways. Yeah, we do have opportunities for civil engineers in Indian Railways. They call in for submitting the application, and they conduct some aptitude tests. So once you're through that, then you crack the exam and you can enter into Indian Railways. But I don't think it is more into design oriented kind of job. So I need short term course. Yeah, we have come up with a individual course on geotechnical investigation and soil exploration. We have just launched the course in this week. It's a single individual course, and all our courses are minimum of or maximum of 24 hours of content. So if you concentrate in this course, if you can spend 8 hours of day, if you want to spend if you can spend 8 hours of a day, then you can finish this course in 45 to 50 days, and you can just get a certification from that. Okay, Shiva Prakash, I think I clarified your query. Yes, SIPE software learn 3 days SIPE is using interior design. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, Devraj, mostly nowadays nobody rely on interior design with a civil engineer. But if you are running a firm by yourself, where you are providing services for residential building, then yes, you do need to provide interior design. So I'm not aware of this SIPE software what you're telling about, but we do have other softwares for architects who can do interior design. We are coming up with a master's course for architectural students also, who will be learning 3ds Max and Maya. Those are more into Revit also, Revit architecture. So softwares like that are widely used by architects, and nowadays mostly they go on with Revit because you can take them through a walkthrough. So you can provide lighting facilities and show them how the house will look in the while you are taking them through a walkthrough. Yeah. So how's Tekla opportunity? Yes, Haripriya. So Haripriya, if you are looking on with a steel structure, completely into a steel structure domain company, say there are many companies. If you ask in Chennai, you have William Hare, Eversendai. They are more into steel. So there you have a very good opportunity for Tekla, where they use ETABS, Tekla Structural Designer, and Tekla structures for detailing. So there Tekla is widely used. And if you take PEB kind of structural design companies, there also Tekla is widely used. Okay. What is the difference in architecture design and civil design? That's a very good question. So architecture, if you take architecture, they provide the plan, section, maybe the elevation of a building, section and elevation of the building. But we bring the, being a civil engineer, you are responsible for the size of the columns, the position of the columns, the size of the beams, the reinforcement that you are providing inside the columns, beams, slabs. The architect just gives the outframe of the building. You provide the interior requirement, that is the size or reinforcement requirement for the building. So that is the difference between an architecture and the civil design. So you are giving life for that building. It is just by papers is what architecture provides. You give life for that design. So that is the civil engineer's job. It is necessary to learn all the phases of Revit like architecture, structural and MEP together. Not necessary, Manish. If you are interested in, it is mandatory that it will be great if you can learn Revit architecture and structural, because it will be good if you can do a 3D rendering of your plan. So we do cover architecture and structural. But MEP, I don't think, being a civil engineer, it is mandatory, because we have MEP, mechanical engineers and electrical engineers who do mechanical and plumbing activities in BIM. So we all will work on a cloud platform. So all the designs will be clubbed in the cloud platform, and that is how we use Navis work to see the works done by different domains, and we merge all these works done, and that is how we detect the clashes. So it is not mandatory that you have to get knowledge on all the three. It is mandatory if you are a civil engineer, then it is mandatory you gain knowledge on architecture and structural engineer. That will help you to, if you are planning for any freelancing consultancy job also, it will be helpful. And it will be an added advantage if you are aware of MEP. That's it. If you are planning to work on a company, then MEP is not mandatory. I'll just quickly finish the construction management, then we can start with the question answer session. Yeah. So let me explain what a construction management is. Construction management is like you have to people who work as a site engineer or senior site engineer or project manager, planning engineer. Everybody comes under the stream of construction management, where you have to coordinate with all disciplines. Then not only with the civil engineer or a structural engineer, you have to coordinate with mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, because during the construction site there will be all the plumbing lines, regarding the plumbing lines, electrical cable trays, everything will be coordinated, and proper management of the project management has to be done. That is, the proper sequence of the work has to be done without any delay in the project. So that is where the construction management plays an important role. So it is from starting from tendering till the completion of the project. The construction management people should be in coordination with all the disciplines and domains involved in the project. So they have to plan the materials also in earlier. Before concreting, they have to plan for reinforcement bars, they have to plan for concrete availability. If it is a ready mix concrete, then they have to plan how much area of concreting they are going to do, and they have to plan for an RMC to be delivered to the site, and that should not exceed before 2 hours, because the setting time should not get increased, and that should be proper flow in the concrete. Once the concrete comes, the QA/QC engineer is in charge for the doing the slump cone test, or he or she has to check the compressive strength of concrete arrived at site. He has to go in with a slump cone or a flow table test. So all these are involved in construction management. The safety or engineer also comes in the construction management, because he or she has to be responsible for no fatal accidents happening in the construction site. So they should take care of all of these activities. So from starting till the completion of the project in a construction management, like I said, estimation engineer, planning engineer, QA/QC engineer, safety engineer, site engineer. So all design engineers also, they have to closely work on with all the domains and client say people also, to complete the project in a proper scheduled manner and within the proper provided time. So these are some of the courses that we are coming up in construction management. In the fundamentals of civil engineering concepts, starting from building materials, you will learn what are the tests that are mandatory tests that needs to be done at site. That is the slump cone test, flow table test, all these tests that are done at site. You will be learning how to do a concrete mix design for different grades of concrete. What are the checks that you have to, that is the reinforcement checks that you have to do before concrete pouring. Then you will be learning what are the loads acting, because even if you are a site engineer, it's better that you are aware of the loads that are acting on a building, about the gravity loads, how you have to calculate the wind loads, so that if you feel that the drawing received to the site is wrong, you will be in a position to ask questions to the structural engineer. So we also include how to read the structural drawings in these fundamentals in civil engineering coursework, and also you will be learning a little bit of bar bending schedule. That is the codes relevant to that. We, in all our courses, it is like we take you through the codes, we make you understand the fundamental concepts covered in the coursework, in the codes, and then we teach you how to do any work related to industrial relevant standards. If you take project management using Primavera, again, it is widely used a project management software. Once you take this coursework, you can work as a planning engineer in the starting stage, and then you can get elevated to project manager for a project. So again, cost estimation and planning, it can be done using MS Project or any Excel. Normally they use Excel sheets, but nowadays they use MS Project for producing the Gantt chart and all those things. So cost estimation is also done in Revit, as I said. They do scheduling and estimation using Revit also. And health and safety precautions to be followed on site. That is the if you want to become a HSE engineer, then you can take up that coursework, and we are coming up with some surveying courseworks also, and we have already launched this coursework on subsurface exploration and geotechnical investigation, where you will be learning all the tests that are done at site, and also will get how to come up with geotechnical reports, and what are the test foundations that you need to provide depending upon the soil type. As I said, these are some of the job opportunities for freshers and mid-level sectors who are planning for construction management entry. So you can join as a site engineer, you can join as an estimation engineer, as a planning engineer, as a QA/QC engineer, as a surveyor, and as a safety engineer. The role of the surveyor is not only in the beginning stage, whenever they start doing the column, also starting from beginning stage, marking of the columns, and starting from footing, they are useful in a project till the end of the project. While after completion also, surveying is done to see whether the structure is as per the plan that we have provided to the site, that is as per the good for construction drawings. So I've clearly explained you about all the roles that a civil engineer can concentrate on into any job domains. So I think I have some more questions from the students, from the participants, sorry. So I have done BTech in civil engineering and not so good in structural engineering. So can I go for design field? So I be good in structural if I choose design as my career. Yeah. So Vivekanand, that's a very good question. That's what I said earlier. Many civil engineering graduates have a fear to enter into the structural domain, because I'm not blaming. When I had a webinar with some colleges also, there many people had the fear of, or the lack of confidence to enter into structural domain. Please don't have that fear. If you know the concepts thoroughly, if you know the fundamental concepts which are not taught in the colleges properly, we are here to bridge that gap. We teach you the fundamental concepts, including starting from structural analysis. We teach you in each of our courses, and we teach you what are the codes, relevant codes that you have to follow, the load combinations that you need to follow for designing a building or a bridge or any kind of structure. And we make you understand how to model and how to calculate the loads, how to apply it in the model, and how to do the analysis, and how to read the results, how to get the design done, and how to develop the drawings. Starting from scratch till the report making, we do make the students understand the concept behind that. And once you have started working on a project by yourself independently, you will surely gain that confidence to design buildings on your own. If you take me as an example, I entered into estimation role, and I got fed up of on working just length into just a multiplication of length, breadth into height into cost. That is what estimation is all about. This you can work for 1 year or 2 years. Then I got fed up. Then I learned StatPro, and then I am in this field for more than 16 years. In the design field, I am here as a lady. I have managed n number of projects for top clients, say Michelin tires or Accendas. I've done many projects, and when I did one residential building, I got the confidence to design the projects by myself. So it is like you can choose any course from Skillink, and we have a proper support team to provide, and we will teach you the basic concepts on design, and you will gain the confidence on designing a building, and you can choose your field as structural and structural design as your career, and you can excel in that career, Vivekanand. Yeah. So, want to know more about internship? Who will conduct the internships? Yeah, if you how this will be used in job opportunities. Yes. So, Manideep, if you are enrolling in our master's course, you will get a paid internship for 3 months, where and we have certain criterias, like you have to finish the first 3 course modules in a period of time within which you will be offered an internship or paid internship offer for 3 months, where you will be guided to work on a project starting from, say for example, if you are getting enrolled in our HRB coursework, you will be learning first 3 modules as AutoCAD, Revit, and ETABS. So you will be asked to do a plan starting from AutoCAD. We make you to do a 3D rendering in Revit. We do guide you to do the design in ETABS and foundation design in SAFE, and extracting the results from ETABS and SAFE. You will be creating your structural drawings for that project, and you will be coming up with a full report. So when you are completing the internship, you will gain that confidence, and this project report you can create a portfolio by yourself in our Skillink website, and you can put it in your resume, where the employer will get an opportunity to do to see your work that you have done with Skillink. And all our projects that the students are done is like a detailed report format. If you see, it will be self-explanatory for the employer to understand that you have understood the concept and you have done the project. It will be like aim, procedure, what are the comments used, how you have created a screenshot of the project, or a screenshot of the building that you are designing using ETABS or StatPro, and you will be showcasing it in the report and everything with the final output. So it is self-explanatory that you have understood the concept and you have done that project. So it is easy for the employer to understand your potential, and it is easy for you to crack the interview with the employer. Okay. And one more, we have tie up with Bentley, and whoever taking the courses with us, if it is a master's course, we are providing Bentley StatPro software, all the Bentley softwares freely for 1 year. And if it is an individual course, we do provide 3 months of free software for Bentley, for StatPro software alone, for Bentley softwares. So I'm here to answer one more query on how do pandemic, due to pandemic, whether you will be getting job roles after the construction industry has gone down or something like that. many students were asking queries to me. Yes, because during pandemic, it is good for structural engineers now, because if you see, abroad countries have shut down their offices in UAE and Singapore and Malaysia, and they are starting up the design centers in India so that they get low manpower for low cost, and they are getting the design done here. And so it is like a boom for all the civil engineers who wanted to take a career into structural domain. Because when I had interaction with my friends who are in abroad, they were telling that they have laid off many of their employees in abroad, so that they are setting up a design centers, that is global design centers, in top places like Gurgaon, Hyderabad, Chennai, in some places Pune, Bangalore. So India, they have identified some cities, and they are coming up with structural projects offloaded from abroad to here. So they will be having the design centers here in India, and they will be doing the projects from here. So MTech is necessary for structural engineer, Shiva Prakash. So MTech is just to brush up your fundamental concepts. For entering into a structural engineering role, MTech is not mandatory. If you are planning to do a freelancing, or if you are planning to keep a consultancy firm by yourself in the future, then the MTech degree value is there, because anybody who is having an MTech in structures or ME in structures can take a freelancing work by themselves. But that can be of a part-time too also. But in MTech also, they don't teach a lot about how to design or how to use software. Okay, so it is more into if you want to upskill exactly in the project side of structural engineer, then you can always choose into enroll in any of our master's course upon your interest, because I will just showcase our website where we have listed down all the master's course, so that you can get an idea on which one to get enrolled on. Okay, is there any courses for structural engineering that will provide assured placement? So I don't know, Haripriya, whether you are a fresher or an experienced engineer. Yes, we do have courses in structural engineering where we are covering, if you take, there is a coursework for a fresher, that is high-rise building design, where you will be learning 8 softwares, starting from AutoCAD, AutoCAD, Revit, ETABS, SAFE, StatPro, Tekla Structural Designer, Ramstad Connections, which is a connection design software and widely used by many steel companies, and you will be learning Dulubal. So there are 8 softwares that you will be learning in that coursework, and we have 11 modules that we cover the fundamental design also. As I said, the fundamentals of civil engineering and the mastering in shear force and bending moment diagram. Apart from that, you will be learning how to design a tank, and you will be learning how to design composite structure building. That is, you will be learning how to design a 200-meter high composite building. So these courses, this course will be really helpful for a person or a graduate who are looking into to enter into any kind of consultancy firm. That is, you can enter into a consultancy firm who are into steel structure design, or into RCC design, or into composite structure design, or into tanks, that is ETP and STP plants. So you can look in for any opportunity if you are taking the HRB, that is high-rise building design coursework. Okay, when will the placement start? If you are getting enrolled in our master's course, the placement starts after completion of 3 modules of your main course, that is a big courses. If you take fundamentals, it is an 8 weeks course, so it is a smaller course. So once you complete 3 important big modules in any of our masters, the customer success team will pitch in to help you in modifying your resume, and they will guide you in how to create a proper profile in LinkedIn and reach out to X number of people, so that your project work gets escalated to all the people, and every people, when they view your project, the employer can approach you directly, or we do have for civil, we do have tie-up with 2-3 companies who are interested in potential graduates with us. So they do interview to the students who have enrolled with us, and if they are really doing good with their technically we can guarantee you, but apart from that they do see your attitude and hard work to the company, so that dedication. So that is why we insist all the students to do the challenges and projects in a proper way that will showcase their hard work and dedication to the work. Okay, so placements will start once you complete the first 3 modules, that is a bigger modules in our master's coursework. Course is an structural design course. Yes, Vivekanand, the design and analysis of high-rise building course is an exclusively structural design course. And here, as I said, you will be learning 8 softwares in that coursework, and you will have 11 modules in that coursework. Okay, so I think I can showcase the courses that we are offering in our website. If you see, these are the courses that we are offering in Skillink. So this is what I was telling about. This is a master certification program in high-rise building design. These are some of the individual courses. This is the design of tensile structures that I was telling about. We were using Dulubal software, which is an RFEM software. And this is a mastering fundamental coursework. This is a Revit coursework. Here we have come up with industrial structures coursework, and these are some of the master's coursework. You can see here which we have highlighted in yellow, saying that it's a master's. So we have master's coursework in high-rise building design, we have master's coursework in industrial structures, we have master's program in bridge design and analysis, we have master's program in precast, we have master's program in steel structure design, we have exclusively for software oriented master's program which covers GitApps and StatPro. If you take StatPro, you will be learning how to design an RCC building, industrial building, and precast kind of structures using StatPro. And if you take ETAPS and SAFE, you will be learning how to design an reinforced cement concrete design, composite structure, and precast kind of structure using master's program in ETAPS. And all these masters is a 12-month program. We will be offering a 12-month program in this courseworks, and here these two are in the individual courses. This is a roadway design course using open roads, and this is design loads. This is exclusively loads that are considered for bridge design. So these are the courses that we are offering from Skillink. So if you have any queries on this coursework also, you can feel free to ask me. What is it?
Sorry, Anu, sorry to interrupt. As we are showing you the coursework right now, I want to let you in on the offer that we are currently running.
Yeah, sure.
We have 1 lakh offer on all our master programs, and about 48% off on masters in high-rise buildings. So now will be a great time for you to enroll into one of our courses. You'll get a really good value for your price. So if you guys are interested, please leave your contact details in the chat box so that our sales teams can get in touch with you and explain more about the course.
Haripriya, I will surely ask my salesperson to contact you for the cost, because we are running an offer now, as Shruti said. So you can just have a discussion with the salesperson. Please do provide us with your contact number so that my sales team will contact you, Haripriya. Can I get more bit detail about the tensile structure and RFM too? Yes. So here I think I need to take you through that coursework to get a more idea. Yeah. So tensile structures, I think, I don't know whether you're aware of that structure. If you see in cricket stadiums, you might have seen a fabric type of structure with a lightweight steel material above that. So starting from, I will share you this syllabus so that, so I think my screen is visible. So this is a course syllabus for tensile structures. So starting from the overview of a tensile membrane structure, how it has started, what is the history behind that, what are the types of tensile structures, everything, and the behavior and mechanism of these kind of membrane structures, everything starting from scratch, because this is a new concept. So we wanted the students to understand from scratch how this membrane structures behave. And we give you provide you with the finite element method behavior of the one that is creating 1D, 2D and 3D kind of structures, and we teach you how the degree of freedom for these kinds of, because these are fundamentals and these are the basics that you should be aware of before entering into the software. So it is like all our software courses are like not directly entering into the software. First we teach you the fundamentals. So the first 2 weeks of session will be like covering the fundamentals. If you take ETAPS coursework for seismic forces, it is like we will be covering the fundamentals of earthquake engineering, all the lateral forces, what are the different kinds of designs that you have to do consider, or factors that you need to consider for seismic design. Everything will be clearly taught, and then we take you through the model and explain you clearly on the how to calculate the loads and how to model it in ETAPS. So that's how here also we give an introduction about the whole structure, and then we take you through the modeling, analysis and design of these steel structures through different methodology, keeping that is this mainly depends upon the geometry of these structures. So we teach you what are the methodologies to create the geometries and how to implement it on RFEM software. So, and the materials type, that is there are different kinds of materials, that is isotropic, orthotropic. It's a completely different design, and you will be covering up with the structural analysis also, and how you can come up with patterning. That is, there are different cut pattern lines that once you enter into that software, you will get more clarity on what I am discussing here. So it is like you will get a clarity on how to pattern these kind of membrane structures, and finally you will know how to apply the wind simulation using CFD on these membrane structures, and you will be finally learning how to do a complete model of these structures, understanding that is correlating with all the concepts that you have learned with all these week sessions. You will be working it together, and you, in this sessions you will be completely extracting the results also, and you will work on a project. So this is how you will be working on the coursework, design of tensile structures using DULIBOL. And this is a short-term course that is since you asked for tensile structures alone, I have provided this coursework overview. This is also covered in our HRB, high-rise building design coursework. This is a new concept that you will be learning. You will get this opportunity to learn this coursework unless or otherwise you get an opportunity to work on companies who are doing this kind of building design. Otherwise you won't be able to learn in this tensile structure coursework anywhere. I don't think any centers or online educations. So madam, is there any interested relevant projects we can work off so that we can showcase in our resume for better placement? Yeah, Vivekan, as I said, all the projects that we are providing will be like starting from scratch. You will be asked to start working from scratch, and see, for example, if you are working on an ETAPS project or a STAT project, first 6 weeks will be fully into RCC design if you are taking up the STAT Pro course. The second 6 weeks will be for steel building. So once you finish the RCC concepts, you will be doing one project, and that project you will be doing from starting by yourself with detailed step-by-step procedure, and you will be showcasing that project in your portfolio with Skilling website, so that when you give that ID in your resume, the employer can click that link and see the project you have done with Skilling. And one more thing is, if you take any module, you will be working on 12 weeks of challenge. The challenge means it is like it is a grading test to see how good you have understood the concept after that week of video watch. And you will be doing 2 projects in all the courseworks. In all the courseworks, if it is 2 projects, and if you take, for example, high-rise building design, you will be doing 24 projects with that. in that coursework alone. If you are doing a 6-module coursework, then you will be doing 12 projects in that course module. So it depends on any course module, individual course module, you will be having 2 projects. One in the midweek till what the concepts we have covered, and one a final project where you will be doing a full project for that coursework. So it is like 2 projects per module, course module. And everything will be relevant to the, that's what I told, no, once you have done the project with us, you will gain confidence to do any design by independently. You gain that confidence, and you can and most of them are industry relevant projects. You will provide online courses if offline, where it will be available. Due to the pandemic, we have not yet planned for any offline courses. We will be coming up with offline course maybe only for StatPro, since we have availability of the software. And for more clarity, I think Haripriya, you can get in touch with the salesperson so that he can guide you on those details and give more clarity on that. And do you offer placement assistance? Yes, we do offer placement assistance. That's what I was telling. If you are getting enrolled in our master's program, we do, our customer success team will pitch in once you complete the first 3 main courses in our master's module, and they will assist you in getting the placement, and they will help you how to mold the resume and how to contact people using LinkedIn profile, how to make your profile good, and they will be conducting mock-up interviews for you, so that you get the so that you lose that fear of attending interviews. So they do guide you in getting placement. Minimum height of high-rise building, we do a 200-meter high building in our high-rise building course. So you'll be learning how to design a 200-meter high building. Okay. In one of our course, it is 200-meter high building. In another course, it is G+25 for seismic forces. That is,
ma'am.
Yeah, somebody was
minimum height of high-rise building, not a maximum.
Minimum is D+. You want which is covered in the coursework?
Civil.
Yeah, it is D+12 floors.
No,
it depends upon different places. If you take Mumbai, it is more than 45 meters. So it is like it is place constraint. Okay, which is a course duration of masters in design and high-rise building. It is a 12 months course duration. Again, Vivekanand, it is like it depends on whether you are a student or a working professional. If you are a student or a fresher who can invest in 8 months of time, then you can complete that coursework within 10 months or 8 to 10 months. If you are a working professional, then we do provide 12 months of time. And one more thing to add on this is the courses that once you complete the first semester courses, like how I explained, if you take the high-rise building coursework, you will be learning the fundamentals for civil engineers, then you will be learning AutoCAD, then you will be learning Revit, then you will be learning ETABS and StatPro. So this is a sequence that you will be learning. Once you are, these we have kept it as semester 1 courses. So it is like once you have completed the semester 1 courses, you can start applying for jobs. It is not that you have to wait till the end of the completion of the coursework. So it is like you can start applying for jobs once you have completed the first semester courses. So if you are a fresh graduate and you can invest 8 to 10 hours, then you can finish it in 8 to 10 hours of time per day. Then you can finish the course as soon as possible. If you have any queries, please do type in the chat box so that I can answer your queries, or else we can just wind up the session if you, yes, we do have Tekla structural designer coursework in the high-rise building course and as an individual course also. So are you interested in are you interested to take steel structure design as your domain? Then you can also think about enrolling in masters in steel structures. Yes, so you wanted to enter into steel structures is what I thought. I got it right, I suppose. So in that case, you can either enroll in steel structural design, or if you want to learn Tekla structural designer, then you can take it as an individual course also. Guys, if you have 3ds Max, no, we have not. We are working on that coursework, but we have not yet launched that coursework. Maybe in the next quarter, we might come up with 3ds Max coursework. Because as I said, we are coming up for masters for architects. So once we get that course ready, then we will launch that 3ds Max course. So thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining this session.